Welcome to Who Knew. We are fans of the current series of Doctor Who, and here we discuss our likes, dislikes, and insights into the modern regeneration of the show. Visit our website, whoknewpodcast.com, email us at whoknewpodcast@gmail.com, find us on Twitter and on Facebook at Who Knew Podcast. Subscribe, review, and listen to us on iTunes and Stitcher, or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/whoknewpodcast. Hi everyone, WonderCon 2018 just passed and 3 of us from the Who Knew podcast attended, and it was a much cooler WonderCon than it was last year, which prompted me to dress up as the 11th Doctor, and we had a lot of fun.
And I was a 10th Doctor.
And I was me.
Who would that be?
I was Josh, the companion.
Oh, what was your favorite thing about WonderCon this year?
Spending all the money I spent.
That's your favorite?
No, that actually wasn't my favorite. I liked all the loot I got.
Yeah, we had fun going through Artist Alley with you.
There was a lot of good art this year.
Yeah.
A lot of times, there's always a lot of good art, but there was more than usual, hence how much money I spent. And didn't spend a lot of time in the vendors sections or the big ticket booths, as sometimes we usually kind of look around. I was tired by then, but I kind of walked away from that just mostly feeling like we did Artists Alley, walked around a little bit, met up with some people, and that was about it.
Yeah, it was funny that each of us bumped into somebody we individually knew and not collectively knew.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It made WonderCon feel a little smaller.
And it was also, it felt more relaxed this year. I really liked the fact that on the day that I went, there wasn't any panels that I wanted to see. And that actually made me really happy. Because then it's like, all I'm doing is wandering the floor and I don't have any agenda or need to be anywhere at a certain time. And then Josh shows up and he takes over Artist Alley, which is fantastic because I can just like trail along behind him, and while he's talking to human beings, I can just look at the artwork.
In my way, yeah, because you can mill around a booth without feeling guilty about not buying something. 'cause
Exactly.
I just bought something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with this guy. Oh, okay.
There's a certain knack you have to develop to look at a booth and look at them in the eye just enough to not be rude, so you can keep walking, or so they don't kind of start to engage with you and you feel guilty for not buying something.
We also ran into some of our listeners at
That's right.
WonderCon, and that was great to see them in person and to chat with them.
Yeah, we ran into Julia, and this was her first WonderCon, and she was one of the first people who listened to our podcast and gave us notes. And
We appreciate that.
Yes, and we took them to heart because they were good notes. And then we ran into Linda and Eve and Katie.
Were you guys handing out cards and pins? Could fans come up to you and get some merch?
Were. We ran into a great War Doctor cosplayer by the name of Dennis, and he was with the San Diego, I want to say steampunk, but that's not accurate. It's like a gas lamp sort of society club thing where they do steampunk, and his War Doctor was really good. We have a picture of that on our website, and we gave him and the people at his booth cards for the podcast. Oh, and we also we also ran into the San Diego WhoCon people, and so we chatted with them a little bit. So that was good.
Yeah, if you do ever spot us at one of those things, we usually have some pins on us.
And cards.
And cards. I can't remember the artist, unfortunately, so maybe we'll cut this out. But there was an artist who did a mashup of the TARDIS being placed in a lot of Disney scenes.
That's Karen Hallian. She was the one from the first SD WhoCon.
I think, Brian, you and I both bought one where Belle is from Beauty and the Beast is walking by and she sees the TARDIS and the Doctor's hands reaching out for her.
Yes.
And there were a few other ones that I kept seeing and wanting to get, so I make a point to get more each time I go.
Frank actually reminded me when I got home.
You already bought it?
No, that artwork we had seen on a T-shirt online, and it was like, I should get it on the T-shirt. And I didn't, but now I'm kind of glad because now I actually have the artwork.
And I wanted to put a different phrase on the bottom. I wanted to reminisce the Doctor telling Rose, did I also mention, and I wanted this one to read, did I also mention it has a library? That would be a nice enticement for Belle.
Did I also mention it travels in time? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Did I also mention it has a library?
So yeah, WonderCon 2018 in Anaheim was a lot of fun, and we hope to do it again next year.
It was a lot of fun this year. It was a lot of fun.
I hope the weather continues for next year because it was great.
Yeah, last year it was way too hot. And when you're waiting outside, inside's not that big of a deal, but to get in there,
And we timed it well. We walked right in.
And we were the first in our shoot.
That's right. We were the first in our shoot, which was the fourth shoot.
Gallifrey 1 tickets just came on sale recently, and so we got some tickets for that, and hopefully we'll see you there. Let us know if you're going to be able to go in February.
And where is that?
No clue.
It's near the LAX.
No.
The LAX?
No?
Where? So where is Gallifrey this year, 2018?
Well, Gallifrey 1, no.
Okay, yeah, it's nowhere.
It's in a tiny little
It is.
pocket universe.
Gallifrey 1 2018 already passed. Gallifrey 1 2019 is going to be at the Marriott LAX. Or LAX Marriott.
Oh, not in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tickets went on sale 306 days early.
Wow, it's like we're
And they are
time
sold out.
traveling.
Are they really sold out now?
Yep.
That's why we jumped on it.
Wow.
Will this drop by then?
What do you mean?
Before next
Oh
year.
yeah, before next year. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course it will.
yeah, it will. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm back.
We missed you.
There are 2 conventions that Who Knew Podcast will be at next year. I hope to see some of you listeners there. Today's episode is episode 1 of season 4, Partners in Crime. Ever want to lose weight quickly and easily? Donna Noble finds her doctor as the fat just walks away. This episode is written by Russell T. Davis, directed by James Strong, and it originally aired on the 5th of April 2008 and was watched by 8.4 million viewers. Let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, this is Brian.
This is Arlene.
Josh.
Hello, this is Auburn.
Hey, it's Kelsey.
Hi, it's Frank.
And this is Eugene. Donna Noble and the doctor separately descend on Adipose Industries, a new diet pill company with over 1 million local customers. Each customer is given an 18-karat pendant, and the company is about to go global. Both Donna and the doctor visit a separate customer from the client list they've just obtained. Each client lost 1 kilo every day while they were on the pill. Roger Davey, the man the doctor is interviewing, weighs himself every night because his burglar alarm always blares at 1:10 in the morning for no reason. After having the alarm checked and even replaced, it still goes off. The doctor notices he has a cat flap built into a door and surmises that the fat just walks away.
There were many eye rolls around the table. I'd just like to make a note of that.
That wasn't planned at all.
The cat flap is a callback to the Rose episode where the Ninth Doctor is looking through the cat flap in the Tyler apartment
When the Auton arm comes back.
and just walks. Oh, sorry.
I really like all of the cross-cutting between the Doctor and Donna. I thought that was great. They were both doing the same thing, but in different ways.
The little Scooby-Doo-ish moments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
in
little
this
moments
episode, it's earned.
Oh, absolutely.
It
They keep
works.
missing each other, and even just the way that they were both on the same page.
Right.
And then later on, when you find out what she's been doing and the way she's been doing it, it makes a lot of sense. More than just a coincidence. But I actually forgot, like when I was thinking of this episode, I was thinking she was working there, because I guess it's a lot like her for her first episode or whatever. But as obviously as it went along, I realized she wasn't, because I'm not an idiot, or that much of an idiot.
It's good to hear.
Yes.
Josh.
There were many eye rolls around the table.
Another callback is the other guy he's interviewing.
Davey.
Yes, Davey.
Roger Davey.
Oh.
The doctor says, "I know cat people.
Oh.
You don't look anything like
You
it.
don't look anything like them." And I take that as a callback to New Earth and Gridlock.
Oh, I get it.
Which he is not fans of. We're also missing the biggest callback of all. Donna!
Who?
It opens up with Donna, which I thought
Yeah.
was
Yes.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, and that piece of music that accompanies her is great. I love it. It's like whimsical and sleuthy and jazzy.
Isn't there a cool BTS story about like how we got Donna to be a companion for an entire season? Like I thought,
Yeah, Russell-
wasn't she was just supposed to Catherine
Be a
Tate was
one-off.
just supposed to be a
The
guest
one-off.
star.
And she's so busy and works so much in Britain that they thought they were lucky to get her for the one-off. But Russell ran into her at some event, and she was saying how much fun, she'd never had so much fun filming something, and she'd love to do it again. And he was like, "Oh yeah, well, we're about to start a whole new series." And she said, "Oh, I'd love to do it." And he was like, "What? Really? Oh yeah, I'd have so much fun." And he was still thinking like, "Oh, she's just being polite." And so he got a call. He either called her agent or the agent called him, and he was expecting the phone call to be, "Leave my client alone. She's really busy." But the agent was like, "Catherine's really interested." And that was the moment that Russell went, we could have a whole series of Donna.
She was completely unknown to me at the time, and since then become a big fan of hers.
Just love this introduction of Donna. You can go through the companions we've seen so far, the Rose introduction and the Martha introduction. You can see how Donna is different, and she's not a great companion. She's a great doctor. Like, she is the person who's like investigating. She's doing all these things. So she'll be great as an individual and even better as a partner.
And she's that now. So
Now, not getting there.
Right,
Right.
she doesn't grow into it.
Well, and they specifically did alter her character a little bit for this.
So she did grow into it because last time with the
from
Runaway
the last
Bride,
time, yeah.
she was a lot more grating.
Oh yeah,
It's
this is not the
that-
same.
it's just she was a little more abrupt, and just you could not have a whole season
No.
of that Donna. But they made it so Martha's been there doing other things. Meanwhile, you can kind of see that Donna has changed and grown because of her one experience with the Doctor.
And the way they ended her character with that open-endedness at the end of Runaway Bride, where she's like, I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to travel the world.
Yeah.
I'm not going to travel with you because I'm not too sure about you. Like, she was not a fan of him by the end of that episode, based on the way the way the Doctor handled things. So she's like, I'm not so much a fan of you, but I'm a fan of like what you've introduced into my life, this adventurous side of myself. So I'm going to go travel. Like, I just, and they wrote that without
No
this
concept.
season in mind.
Not at all,
So
yeah.
it's
Right.
like,
This is a
it
one-off.
was very lucky, I think,
Yeah.
that they didn't kill off her character
Yeah.
or something like that, or make her, they
Closed
she
the
had
door
and she
completely.
had character growth in Runaway Bride,
Mm-hmm.
and now we get to see her, as Arlene says, like already ready to be a companion.
And we'll talk about it later, but I love what happens in the year that we haven't seen her. I think it's very realistic.
Yeah, and I just take it as that was her wedding day, so she's allowed to be grating and annoying and have a little abrasive because she's stressed out. She's realizing that the person that she marries was not who she's expecting. There's just a lot happening to her in one day. So the character for that time made sense.
She's percolating.
But you also got, because of Neris and all this, that was who she was. And she had no idea
her
of what
mother.
happened the last 2 years or whatever. What do you mean aliens came to Earth? What? It was like, I was scuba diving. Yeah, that was it. I was somewhere else.
Yeah, life is passing her by in Runaway Bride.
In Runaway Bride, she would have been someone who took the adipose. In this one,
Right.
she's someone who's investigating it.
I like that in the whole press conference, I guess, that Miss Foster's giving, there's a reporter there, Penny Carter, and she asks about the whole science behind the pills. Because Davy said that he's lost a kilo a day, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which is, so it's 2.2 pounds.
Whoa.
So he said he lost 14 kilos, which is 30 pounds.
Wow.
In about those 2 weeks, those 14 days. So I was like, that's a lot. That's a pill I kind of want to take, to be honest. Going on, we found out about adipose. Did you
Yeah,
know?
adipose is a real word.
Mm-hmm.
It actually means fat tissue.
Yeah.
Which some people know, and we did not know.
Some people would be Arlene.
No,
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's
And-
adipose tissue. Like when you do surgery and they go through your skin layer and then through your adipose tissue. So it's like the tissue wall first, and then they get to your muscles and then your internal organs.
Well,
I'll
I've never
remember
done
that-
surgery.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll remember that next time I'm doing my surgery.
On myself.
I don't know if I like that. Then that basically an alien race is called an English word.
That's why I was kind of grossed out that no one else was grossed out with the company's name called Adipose. I'm like, that's gross. It's like,
It sounds like a nice name.
no. And if you've seen it, like adipose tissue is gross looking.
Well, there are two types of adipose tissue. There's the white adipose tissue, and that stores energy. And then there's a brown adipose tissue, which generates body heat.
Stacy Campbell was preparing for a night out as Donna talks to her. Donna absentmindedly twists the adipose pendant, causing a cute kilo of fat to remove itself from Stacy. Ms. Foster, the head of the adipose company, is alerted to the premature expulsion of fat through the pendant. She knows it has been witnessed by Stacy and uses her own pendant to kill Stacy and turn her body into multiple fat babies. Donna breaks into Stacy's bathroom when she hears her cry out for help and sees a baby adipose leaving out the window.
I feel like I don't need to know that adipose means fat in like English, to find like what is happening to these poor people, revolting or turned off by it.
To the adipose, and you don't like that it's an English word for an alien species, you can kind of rationalize it away by saying the TARDIS is translating the word for you in your brain.
No.
I even thought when we were watching the last Classic Who, when they said TARDIS, but they never say what it stands for, and I just was thinking about what it stands for, and I'm like, those are all English words.
And Vulcans are named Vulcans.
How many Star Wars names are actually adjectives as well? I did notice, though, writing-wise, that right before Stacy buys it, she says something very shallow and like about, now that I look better, I'm going to dump the guy who I was with, which is what they do commonly in writing, where right before someone who's not too bad dies, they do something kind of bad so you don't feel like, this is what happens if you behave and think this way, so you don't feel sorry for them, yeah.
And I notice this a lot in a lot of British shows, that they mix their weights and measures and distances. Like, we don't do metric here. But if you notice, Stacy says pounds, and...
She did say pounds, didn't she?
And what's his name? Roger says kilo.
Right.
And then there's other references in this episode to miles.
Oh,
not
really?
kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the British shows just do it.
Oh, they do?
And I think it's just habit with people. Also, when the cab comes up to look for Stacy.
Has the adipose.
and-
Atmos.
There is an Atmos sticker on the window of the...
Oh.
All the
So,
cabs
remember
have
that.
Atmos on it.
It might be important one day.
Like 2 episodes from now.
Let's just say Russell is planning ahead again.
I had a story question that will not change how I feel about this episode, but the necklaces that people are given, that's how Donna is able to activate the fat cells.
Yeah.
Why does everyone go home with that?
Because they get, that's where you put your daily pill. And that-
No.
No.
No?
No.
I thought you put your daily pill in there.
So
and
it opens.
Yeah, it opens. It unscrews. You take your pill and you put, and that's what activates it all.
So the gold there bonds to the person, so it will then receive her
Signal.
switching it on at 1:10 or 1 o'clock in the morning when everyone's asleep,
But that's, yeah, but
and activate them, and then they all come and get picked up.
So that the pendant activates the
Just that
pill
person.
inside the person.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good. I like that.
So Donna's was never put in, so it's just activating who's ever closest.
Proximity.
Right.
It's not activating the one that it's tied to
By
yet.
twisting it.
Because
She's
she
able
took
to
it
Yeah.
without it being activated or sold to a
Yeah,
person.
she's just playing with it, but
Right.
unbeknowingly.
So like if
triggering.
Stacy were to twist hers, nothing would happen because it's just a transponder
No, now it's just a receiver, I
or
thought.
just a receiver. But the one that Donna took is a transponder because
It hasn't
didn't-
activated anybody. It hasn't switched over to this is the person you're going to be receiving to. It's
It
still
makes
open.
no sense.
But that's
It makes
what
more
Miss
sense.
Foster said. Someone
Okay.
took one that hasn't been programmed yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She says that, and then she's hunting it down.
And then it's outrageous for the TARDIS to be translating the word adipose. But whatever.
Because they already put
Exactly.
the word adipose on the building before the doctor got there.
Right.
It translates words too. It just takes longer.
No, but it's already been adipose there, so it wouldn't translate fat to adipose.
Go with the mood.
I was just curious if anyone had an explanation.
Yeah,
You
but
should.
his was more, his was
I
more
could never
right.
figure it out what the pendant purpose was.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with what
Yeah,
Frank
No, well, yeah,
I'm
she
good
says
with
it.
any-
She says it.
This is one I didn't make up, people.
Yeah. No, that's good. Because
Thank you for paying
like
attention.
I said, every time I watch it, it always bugs me because I'm like, oh, this doesn't quite. I don't
I
quite
do
understand.
I do think that puts a lot of faith in someone's liking that necklace so much that they always have it on or around them.
Well, that's why they made it 18 karat gold, to try
I
and
know.
put some value on it that people would keep it around.
Yeah, but it looks like a pill.
Yeah. Or suppository.
No, it's the adipose pill replica
Yeah, I
in
know.
gold.
I get
No, I
it.
know. Well, that's what I want hanging
those
around my neck.
adipose is
Here's a
suppository.
gold representation of the fat pills I have to take.
Hey, when you lose those, and you're like, look at this, then you're proud of that.
I suppose.
Ice adipose.
Atta
I
boy.
don't know. I oppose.
We're moving on.
Yes.
That was my out into that. Miss Foster sends out a collection group who pick up the fat babies.
And before you go on, I'd just like to say it's good to see Saxon's men are getting work.
Oh, are those the same actors?
They always come in pairs.
No, they're just the black band people that collect. And it's like, oh, nice to see you got a new job.
Oh, right,
They just got new uniforms and they're good.
Yeah.
She checks the security tapes and finds out who stole the extra pendant. Donna goes home and talks to her grandfather, who is watching the night sky with his telescope. She tells him that if he ever sees a flying blue box, to shout for her. She has been regretting not traveling with the doctor and was checking out Adipose Industries in search of him. Her grandfather tells her not to give up and go find him. At the same time, the doctor is on the TARDIS talking to himself about the strange readings, but realizes he is alone, with no one listening. I like the dialogue here with Donna. And
This scene's fantastic.
it's so layered because he talks about a story about her being young and going to do her own thing. And then he says, "Where's that girl, eh?" It's layered because he's saying what he said when they thought she ran away. Like, where's that girl? We have to find our missing girl. But then now it's like, where's that girl that had that spirit? Where is she in you? And I like that.
I also love the way Catherine Tate plays it because she's so melancholy. She has so much regret, and you can hear that. But then when she's looking up in the sky, you can see in her face and even a little bit in her tone, there's hope there. Mm-hmm. She hasn't given up looking for the doctor. She's just going to continue. She just doesn't think it's going to happen, but that doesn't mean she's going to stop trying.
She's just frustrated at this time.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you see the scene in the DVD, but also the script is in the behind-the-scenes book, The Writer's Tale. And so they do have those script pages in there, and they're almost word for word. So the relationship with the father was the same as the relationship with the grandfather. Yeah, recapping.
At the wedding, Donna
Runaway
had her
Bride.
parents.
Runaway Bride, yes.
Right. Had her parents. The actor who played her father shot some of the scenes for this episode because they were going to have just her parents, but he passed away.
During the filming of the episode.
Yes.
That actor would be Howard Atfield.
It was a very sad story. He had cancer, so he was in chemo. And when he got on the set, the director called Russell and said, "It's not that he's in the middle of chemo, and he was very, very sick." Mm-hmm. And they had plans for this character, and I think at one point the gentleman actually said to the director, "Well, if I'm here." And so it was kind of a sad thing and a shock. So then he got very sick. He passed.
At first, they were thinking of quickly writing his death into the story
Yes, and that would almost be a motivation for Donna.
to become more active in her journey.
Yeah, live life because you never know.
But then Phil Collinson, the producer, said, why don't we bring back Bernard Cribbins, who played Stan in Voyage of the Damned? Because his name is never mentioned, they could retcon it that that's Donna's grandfather.
And because this Partners in Crime episode was actually the 4th episode that they filmed, that actually gave them time to go back, and Russell was able to get to Voyage of the Damned and redo the credits to say Wilfred Mott instead of Stan.
Okay.
So they were able to slide in that retroactively that this one-off character who talked to the doctor in Voyage of the Damned now has another connection back to him and is Donna's grandfather.
Mm-hmm. So were those scenes that we watched in this episode, was that originally supposed to be her dad having those
and
conversations?
They did film those.
And those are on the DVD.
The early scene with him in the telescope and Donna going to talk to him was what they filmed, and so they refilmed it. I'm very glad they didn't recast the character.
That's an interesting choice to put that on the DVD.
Which is
Though they
nice.
did it to honor
And
him.
they also there was an in memoriam to him.
In this episode, in the credits. And Russell introduces those scenes, saying, we got permission from the family and we wanted to, do this in his honor.
Do any of the companions not have an overbearing mother?
All the classic ones.
Oh, very good.
But that scene with her mother gave some really interesting information.
It's a great scene, but it's Jackie, Martha's mother, this lady.
But it's also done differently, where
I know.
Sylvia is a lot more berating in that relationship.
Overbearing is a general term.
But what she had said was something that was really interesting and shows what Donna has gone through.
Yeah.
In that she said, well, what about the new job at Health and Safety? You've only were there for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then you walked out.
So Donna was there to get the card so she can get into places. It's like Donna's thinking and planning. She doesn't have the psychic paper. She needs something. And no one's going to look at it quickly that she was something else there, but she has something that says Health and Safety on her card.
That's good. I actually took that as she was working at Health and Safety, found out something suspicious, and then quit. But no, you're right. Yeah, she went in. She got a job so she can get the badge.
She got the badge, and then it was like
That's how I
Donna.
took it. It's not blatant either way, and it could be
Yeah. No, I think
the
you're
other way
right.
that she was there, and that's where she got it.
I
But
like that. And then her mother likes to clean only 2 spots in the kitchen.
Back and forth.
Because those are on camera.
Right.
I'm sorry, but how many times have you done something like that in the kitchen? I go back and forth. Dang it, I'm out of here.
The next day, they both go back to Adipose Industries. Donna hides in the ladies' room until the end of the day when Miss Foster barges in, demanding she show herself. With 2 armed guards, they break down the stall doors until they reach the one in which Penny Carter, a reporter, is hiding. They take her up to Foster's office and interrogate her. Donna follows. The doctor was also hiding in the building all day and listens in on the interrogation. Miss Foster tells her that the pills take the fat and changes it into little fat babies. The doctor and Donna finally see each other through the window to the office. Miss Foster orders the guards to get them.
This never gets old, no matter how many times I watch it.
Yeah,
Best scene ever.
It makes the episode for me.
And it kind of sets up, this is what you can expect from these two for this season. Like, this is the way it'll go.
I thought the music that was going on
Oh,
was
my
just
goodness.
perfect. It wasn't overdone, but it just played well with the two.
And even just the way it was shot and edited, and like the angles changed a little bit. They got a little wider, but you really did forget that person was there. And then so when they cut to her and she actually, and I like that twist on it too, because it has been done before, but more often than not, that person doesn't find out. But the fact that they just went there with it, because it went on so long, so it was
You
great.
can hear the
You-
audio of their conversation
Kind of fade out.
fade out.
Yeah.
So if you go back and watch it, you're like, oh yeah, no, they didn't know what was happening, and they stopped talking.
Because when you watch it the first time, you think she just noticed, but for all you know, she's been looking at them for.
She's been looking for a while.
like 2 minutes.
In the shooting script, it says that after Donna introduces herself to the doctor again, her mimes are supposed to be, I came here, trouble, read about it, internet, I thought trouble equals you. And this place is weird. Pills, so I hid. Back there, crept along, looked, you, because...
Right.
So if you ever wondered what all of that is...
But you
that's
could
very-
kind of get it.
Yeah,
Because she's so good
Yeah.
at acting it out.
Both
And
of them, like
you can
know
also,
exact-
you know what he's saying.
Yeah. I've never seen people like mouth words so well.
Yeah, like I can see that, you know. It's
like,
I
what
can
the-
read what you just said.
Because his first one's like, what?
Oh, so good. And then also didn't they allow Catherine to make those up?
Yes, she was given, this is what I want you to convey, and then she did the rest.
And they put a little bit of handheld camera in here, which I thought was effective enough. You don't need a lot of it, but it's just kind of seen from their point of view into the room. That's when you had the handheld, along with the music, which was kind of a 60s Avengers kind of music.
And would a stethoscope really work up against the window?
It's a Gallifreyan
Doctor
stethoscope.
That's what I thought.
See,
about it,
I
too.
can accept that. See,
So can I.
Backing up a little bit with Penny Carter and Donna in the bathroom, the director,
it's a
I
mistake.
believe James Strong, he was given the direction that there's supposed to be stalls more separating them than next to each other, because they would either hear Donna on the call or the other person, they would hear that somebody's in the next stall. So I was like, oops, oh well.
And then when Russell saw that he was in the she was in the stall next to Donna, he said something to the director, and the director went, "Oh, you're right, I forgot."
Oh well.
I like that Penny is only there for her story, which is adipose is fake.
Yeah.
Right.
The pills and the tests that you done were all fake, results.
Yeah.
That's all she's thinking about when there's a larger story going on here, Penny.
She's not a very good reporter.
No, she is. She's getting a lot of stuff for the story she's going in for. Yeah. But she's not paying attention to everything else.
Donna runs up the roof to join the doctor. They descend in a window washer's cage, but Miss Foster has a sonic device of her own. She uses it to drop the cage, but the doctor stops it from falling and knocks the sonic pen out of her hand and catches it. They re-enter the building and confront Miss Foster, a wet nurse for the Adipose first family, who is there to foster the next generation of the species, using humans as surrogates after their breeding planet was lost. What she is doing is against galactic law, and the doctor tells her she must stop. The guards point their guns at him, but he uses his sonic and Foster's as a sound weapon, and they escape. Foster orders that they prepare to prematurely induce labor in the 1 million adipose users.
Oh, the reuniting of Donna and the doctor. Oh, there's so much there, and it's wonderful. And he's happy to see her, and she's happy to see him. And you're in the same suit. Don't you ever change? And then, you're beginning to get the story of what happened to Donna in this year. And, now Donna is, before Donna missed everything. And now she's like, oh, I see aliens, sea monsters, crop circles, bees are disappearing. I believe it all now. Except for that Titanic thing. I mean, that's just crazy.
She had a great line. You opened my eyes to all those amazing things out there. And that, I think, really impacted Donna. I thought that was a great line.
That's the difference between the old Donna and new Donna.
Right. Summed it all up.
And so old Donna is still there because when they're trapped on the window cleaner, and he's like, the sonic's not working, and she's like, smash it, and she's trying to just whack at it.
But she doesn't whack at it. She kind of taps.
Well, because it's a real building, and the owners are going, no, don't break it.
But there's a major slip in this scene, which I didn't really notice. But once you do, it just bugs me now.
You're
every time I see
welcome.
it.
No, don't tell me.
When Miss Foster goes to cut the line for the window washer machine, the cage, she cuts the left one.
Oh.
Or from the other point of view, the right one. And so somebody in production said, okay, he's cutting the left one, and they're looking at it one direction. So when the cage falls, it falls one-sided. And then up at the top, Miss Foster walks to the side that's already been cut, according to what you saw, to cut the second one.
I noticed that too.
It's one of those, oh, dang, I wish they could somehow flip that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that once you saw it, it's like, oh, now it's just going to bug me.
And in that same scene where the pen falls down, the doctor grabs it, and then he starts to ascend in the cage. I hear a little bit of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy theme, and I'm not sure if that's there, but I definitely heard something that sounded like it. So I think that's cool.
There's some
another
swashbuckling type music that plays a lot in this episode with things like that. I don't know if that's the piece you're talking about, but I like it.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy theme, which is a song by the Eagles, Journey of the Sorcerer.
Interesting little tidbit that I don't think Doctor Who will carry on. Foster deadlocks the building. And we know when you deadlock the building, that cannot be opened by a sonic. Except now in this episode, apparently, it can be unlocked by the sonic of the person who deadlocked the building.
I think it's logicked enough where...
I'm just saying there's going to be other points where it's going to be like, well, you can open it with that. But...
Yeah, but it's also because when you see the windows, they're, hand latch locks.
How does deadlock work? You don't know.
I don't know.
She should have double deadlock.
Double deadlock.
Double deadlock.
Double dog deadlock.
Double deadlock.
I also like that, the doctor runs down to the office and he grabs Donna's dangling legs. And then the next time you see it, she's just standing in the room. It's like, now how did you do that?
Explain the physics of that.
There's a fun little line there too, where Penny says, "What's going on? What's going on?" And the writer Russell gets a little political because he turns to her, the doctor turns to her and says, "Well, you're a journalist. Make it up." And that was, that's a reference to the Iraq War.
But also, we forget about Penny until they showed her again. Oh, that's right, she's here. She's looking at the legs.
I did like you were bothered by the dangling Donna grabbing legs. I kind of liked it because the way he grabbed her, she was kind of still like wiggling him off, like she thought that she was being attacked again. She's like, nope, I'm gonna, take my chances out here. So they didn't want to show her struggling in. So
no, I like that she still keeps kicking even though he's like trying to hold on.
And isn't it nice that, she was on before, but this is her first scene as a regular companion, or not her first episode as a regular companion, and they're already a team.
Yeah, they're already in it.
They're already together. They're already in sync. When he does pull her back in, and she's like, "It's always like this with you," and he's like, "Yes, it is. Ready to go? You bet." And then when they're talking with Miss Foster, the Doctor and Donna are bouncing off one another. And then. She's making up good points to Miss Foster just as much as the Doctor is. We don't have to get that, okay, the companion's watching the Doctor, figuring out what's happening,
Yeah, it is nice to skip all that.
Backing up a little bit, when there's the mislead of Miss Foster looking for Donna, I thought they did that very well.
Oh, it's Penny.
Yeah, that she's actually looking for, but all the time you think. The other thing, and they actually shot in a telemarketer's office, so those extras, some of them are real employees.
I do wish, though, that Penny was in the background.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if when you freeze framed it, you could see like Penny off in the background or something like that.
It's a little bit of a giveaway when the matron sees her, but we don't see what she's seeing. Like,
oh yeah,
I
agree with you, Jen. I like the way they did it. Did you also see there was the another Donna callback. The doctor puts the two sonics together and everything's going crazy, you know, and the sound's going nuts and everybody's freaking out. And it's Donna who is the one who grabs his arm and says, let's go.
Yep.
Which is what Donna did in Runaway Bride. Doctor, you can stop now. And she even says, I'm not going with you, but you need to have someone because I think you always do need someone there to stop you. Now, in this case, this is a very minor thing, but it is just a thing of like Donna's the one going, okay, enough, move. Miss Foster begins the labor signal, and people begin delivering fat babies all over London. The signal is not just transforming fat, but people's entire bodies. The doctor can't stop it until Donna shows him that she has one of the pendants too. He uses that one to override the labor transmission. 10,000 babies have been born, and the spaceship nursery is arriving above London. The babies head to Adipose Industries, where the ship levitates them up and on board. The doctor and Donna run to the roof and watch the babies ascend, and wave goodbye to Fat. They find Miss Foster and try to get her to safety. She is ascending as well, but the Adipose know it was illegal and don't want any loose ends. They cut off her teleport, letting her fall to her death.
We have a Wile E. Coyote death.
Right, a cartoon moment there.
Works.
Well, the whole
whole episode, yeah.
has that humor.
Yeah, where it's not like, was it Sound of Drums? Where it
Yeah,
was
it's
going
not that-
back and forth?
It's not a crazy transition in tone.
It's funny how this just works like through and through.
I like how when down below the doctor's manic, almost like not paying attention to Donna, where he's just freaking out going, I can't save them, I can't save them, I can't save them. And Donna is like getting in his face, what do you need? And he's still like not paying attention going, oh, if only I had another pendant, if only I had another pendant. And she's like, here. And then the doctor is kind of like, oh my God, you're so good. So I like that moment. But even more, I like the moment where she says, well, what are you going to do with these fat babies? And he's like, well, nothing. They're just children. It's not their fault. They're just children. And I love, well, that's a change from last time. And she attributes it to Martha. Yeah.
That Martha must have done you good.
The
And
Donna What You Need kind of reminded me, since we just did the Autons, Terror of the Autons, a similar aspect to the Third Doctor. You dismiss Joe or dismiss other people, things. I don't care about the promotions. It's like, well, that's where the daffodils are. This has that same thing. So at least that's a characteristic of the Doctor that is continued through.
He's just above, if he can't figure it out, well, obviously.
Yeah, this is above you, Donna. And
Yeah.
You don't know what's, it's like,
Yeah.
well, what do you need? At
And
least
again,
tell me that.
it's I don't think he's doing it consciously. It's just his inbred arrogance.
Right.
Well, and very rarely does, he's usually the one to win at the 11th hour. Rarely does even Rose or anyone have the answer in their pocket.
Literally.
Yeah,
Nice,
literally.
nice.
In the 11th.
I like the scene between the Doctor and Donna when he's trying to fight off the inducer. And she's asking him about what he's been doing and how he had a partner, Martha, destroyed half her life, but she's doing okay. And it was like, okay, in the storyline, it's been 2 years, but they've erased a year, so it's like, oh gosh, she has no idea about that whole year. I'm remembering that because we saw it all, that happened.
Yeah.
And they erased Martha's year because of the whole paradox that was going on. And it's just, oh gosh, I forgot no one knows all the stuff Martha did that year.
Right. Yeah.
And just that came back to me because Donna misses a lot. And it's like, oh, everybody missed this part.
Yeah. And the doctor is he's so upset but cold at the same time. He's just like, yeah, I ruined half her life. Like, oh, I did it again.
But I liked a little, to me, it was kind of throwback to Astrid, the way that they worded this conversation, in that Donna saying how she regrets not going with the doctor, because she did try. She went to Egypt. She was trying to do things, but then find out, no, I went back to my regular life. So she is trying.
Which is
But
so
it's
realistic.
after one adventure with them. And Sarah Jane has done this. And then she went on and made a career out of it. But here she's talking about it, and she regrets not going to the doctor. When he asked, he was like, how did you phrase it? I regretted not going when I asked you.
Yeah, wait
Oh,
for
the
the
siren.
siren. Sorry.
So when she told the doctor, I regret when you asked me to come with you. And he goes, come with me? Yes, okay, yes. Reminded me of Astrid a little bit. You should see me in the morning. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
So it's just that kind of, I thought it was really cute that they wrote it that way.
And another fun moment is the Penny moment on this, where Penny's tied in the chair, and she's waddling out, tied to the chair, and she's like, "You people are crazy. You people are just mad. This is just nuts."
Again, forgot about her until she shows up.
Right. And I love that. The doctor and Donna are like, some people got it, and some people don't. I mean, it's such a funny line, but there's also another layer to that,
And
and that layer is we had talked earlier about how it was not planned that Donna was going to return and be a companion. It kind of happened last minute. They got Catherine Tate. They were so ecstatic. And then they changed all their plans. Russell had actually designed and built a new character for the 4th season. And that character's name was Penny Carter. Penny was going to be a fresh new character in season 4. And so Russell kept an homage to Penny. And then they threw in the line at the end where it's like, yeah, but she wouldn't have been a good companion. Not like Donna's going to be a good companion, because Donna's got it and this Penny person doesn't.
And also, Penny makes every mistake that like a companion wouldn't do. Like, she goes back for evidence, but then is caught again red-handed, and then gets tied up again. Like, a companion wouldn't do that.
Right.
It's showing a lot of what you want in a companion. She's going out there, she's getting the information, she's double-checking the information to see if it's correct. While she was there, rather than leaving to save herself, she was getting the information needed.
But she just wasn't lucky enough to escape with the information or get it to somebody who could help.
If the doctor was there to help her rather than Donna showing up, would it have worked out?
But what we're given says no.
It's in another multiverse.
The TARDIS is parked near where Donna had parked her car. She had the car packed just in case she ever ran into the doctor, and begins to transfer the suitcases to the TARDIS. The doctor is hesitant about Donna traveling with him. He says things with Martha became complicated, and now he just wants a mate, a friend to travel with. Donna assures him that he is a skinny little thing and she is not into him. He says, okay. Donna calls her mother, tells her goodbye, and that the car keys are left in a trash can near the alley. She then tells a random woman on the street that when her mother Sylvia comes by, it's that trash can. Sylvia will know what that means. The random woman turns around and it's Rose Tyler.
Oh my God.
Rose walks off and then fades away. Donna goes back to the TARDIS and leaves with the doctor. Her first trip is to fly above her grandfather, who sees her waving goodbye from that marvelous blue box.
But oh my gosh, when Rose turned around, I still remember the goosebumps the first time seeing that. It's like, Rose is back!
What does that mean? I thought Billy Piper was busy.
I can't actually remember how it links up either, so I'm looking forward to watching more.
I was so excited.
But there is a lot in this episode. The big mystery, as we've called it. So, season 1 was Bad Wolf. Season 2 was Torchwood. Season 3 was Saxon.
And then in season 4, we get multiple things.
There are multiple ones.
It's not just one thing.
I love how Donna goes, you want only a mate? Like, you
want
only
two
want
mates.
two
You want
mates?
two mates.
She's like, you're not going to mate with me.
He's like, no, a mate. I want a mate. It's great back and forth.
And then
between the
she's
both
like
of them.
hiding behind the TARDIS. It's like, no, it's my body. Don't touch me.
And when she leaves then to go with the car keys to go put him someplace, you just see in the background the doctor is like starting to pick up all the luggage, like a bellhop, and then bring it all inside.
What's funny also about that scene, if you look in the periphery of that shot, it's raining, but they're completely
That
dry.
happens quite a bit, actually.
I was just surprised that you could actually see that.
I bet they filmed in Vancouver.
I wonder if you could see it when it was first aired, or now that it's just so heightened.
I mean, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if these are uprest. I mean, they're still standard def, but our TVs are bigger.
I thought that when he tossed the pen side, that was going to lead to somewhere.
And I wonder if they thought that too. Let's just have a little moment here that might become something in the future, but then they just never went back to it. I think he should have kept it.
Yeah, I don't really know
I
why
personally
he
think
just
it's
threw it away.
Yeah, have a sonic pen be in the TARDIS somewhere.
Yeah. Saves everything else.
Ender doesn't agree.
And it's so Donna to have suitcases and
Yeah.
like to bring everything with her.
Yes, I thought that was great.
And it kind of explains as we go on to the show. She's one of the only characters that changes regularly.
Oh,
so,
costume?
true.
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, finally, there's someone who changes their clothes often.
She's ready for the
Well,
planet
that's the
of the
first thing
Hat.
she says to him. You're wearing the same suit.
Yeah, when like what Brian said, Planet of the Hats. I'm ready. I thought, Lidsville?
She never wears a hat, though.
And we get this with every new companion, and they always try to figure out a way to write it. So far, they've done really good jobs. But, the first going into the TARDIS scene, it's got to be special. It's got to be awe-inspiring. And I love how she walks in, and the doctor's leaning up against the console, ready to have it. Yes, it's the TARDIS. Yes, it's bigger on the inside. And I love, like, she's like, oh, I know all that. It's like, I've already done this. It's cold in here. So.
Turn up the heat.
I like the part at the end when the grandfather's looking up. He says, "Oh my gosh, it's Donna," and then that's him. when I first saw it, I thought it was she found the person she was looking for.
Yeah, the man.
But now he recognizes him. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, that's the guy who disappeared in front of me. I knew he was, an alien, and she found him, and she's off on this adventure. So I love that reaction.
And I don't know if I like that. I kind of, because I've always viewed it as Donna found the man she was looking for and the blue box. This is great. But Frank brought up that, no, that's Wilf recognizing the Doctor from Voyage of the Damned. I tried looking in the writer's tale, because it does talk about when the actor passes away and how they brought in Wilf as the grandfather. They didn't film it, but it does have the script pages of the father looking through the telescope, and he just reacts happy. He doesn't say, you go, Donna, and that's him, that's him, that's him. It's literally just him reacting with pure joy that Donna, his daughter, found what she was looking for.
Yeah, I think he recognizes him.
Right. Well, it's one of those two-layered lines that Eugene mentioned earlier with the "Where's that girl?" That's him is another one of those. That's him. She found the guy, and that's him. I know him.
Right.
But also his celebration, his little dance.
Yeah.
This is just great.
It's so Wilf.
His enthusiasm is very contagious.
Backing up just a sec, the scene where this is the TARDIS, it's bigger on the inside. I know all that. Did you notice the music? Because we did.
I noticed there was music.
It is an instrumental version of the Doctor's theme.
Which is usually the vocal.
The woman's vocal,
track,
the very haunting vocal track. And this is an instrumental version of it, and I love it.
You had mentioned that there were some foreshadowing, and we usually tell people this is something you have to look for.
The way I have listed these, I have listed 3 things. The first one is that there are missing things. That would be Adipose 3 and
Which is,
bees.
Well, the Adipose 3 is the birthing planet.
And then the bees are also missing. The second thing is the Atmos, which are stickers on the taxi cab windows. And the third thing would be Rose returning.
And they were able to put the Atmos stickers on, because this is the 4th episode that they actually filmed, even though it's the first one shown. They already had those stickers on for other episodes that they're filming, and said, we can just still use those and put it in as a foreshadowing and set up for this whole thing called Atmos.
Of the 4 big mysteries of this season, I was only aware of one.
Rose.
Yes.
Well, that's obvious. But yeah.
That was the spotlight.
Right. But like the other seasons, it was like Bad Wolf was brought up. I mean, even the Doctor's like, wow, that Bad Wolf just is showing up everywhere. Oh, well. I mean, they actually physically call it out. And Torchwood pops up until you get to the end. But these are just like, there's 2 to 3 of them going on that you don't even realize. At least I didn't.
I just want to call out that the actress who played the matron you can see in the television show Happy Valley. I don't remember her name.
Sarah Lancashire
She
plays
stars
Miss
in that
Foster.
She's great.
show. Yeah, she really is.
She plays it so perfectly. Just that proper English nanny that would probably just beat the heck out of the kids.
Some production notes I had is that the producer, Phil Collinson, actually directed some scenes, and that would be with Stacy in the bathroom and the adipose, I guess coming out of her body. And
Interesting way to put it.
I didn't know how descriptive to get to that. But they used a bladder air vest for those moments of where the adipose was trying to break out of her body with the clothes still on her. And so if you listen to the production footage, it's just a bunch of air coming in and out. Yep.
I remember didn't like Runaway Bride at first. It's like, I'm glad she's not going to be a main companion. And then, she's coming back? But after watching the whole season of her being in there, I love Runaway Bride. I think it's funny. I know who the character is and where she's going. And so it brings a lot more to it.
I just like that it's so different. I'm glad,
I'm glad the romance is gone.
Yeah. And they wipe the romance out of there, and then they also just someone who is, polar opposite personality.
Or in Brian's own words, or is it? Because they have Rose at the end of this episode.
Well, yeah.
Right. It was nice to have a companion that was like, let's catch up. It was like, oh, you're telling me about Martha. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and then she could joke about it. Oh, charitable Martha. Oh, she fancied me. So they have those little banter moments. But then there's even further where it's like, yeah, and how about Rose? She already knows about Rose. She knows what Rose means to the Doctor. So it's nice that he, just bring it up for a little bit. It seemed real. It didn't seem forced like it did all through Martha's season, It was just, last time I saw you, you were hurting over this woman. How is this? And he's like, she's still lost.
So, partners in crime. This episode is good for who? Or who is this episode good for? A new viewer, a casual viewer, a fan, or a diehard?
Me first. Huh?
That's why I gave it to you.
I think you should go first this time. It's been a whole
Yeah,
new
you
phase.
never go first.
Oh yeah.
Partners in Crime is a great episode. I really enjoy it. Do you want me to go first?
Stalling for time. Okay, go for it.
I like that it starts off right away with the tone of what this episode is going to be. It's going to be silly, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be funny. And prolonging the meeting of the Doctor and Donna is very well executed, and it doesn't go on for too long, and it doesn't go on, it's not too short. It's just the right amount of time, so when they do finally see each other eye to eye through the glass in the conference room, it's hilarious. And also the music that accompanies throughout this episode is A Noble Girl About Town. It's the very sleuthy, jazzy one, and I really like how that also amps up the feel of fun and silly. But then also we get into a little more somber moment with the Doctor being lonely in the TARDIS and spouting off science speak, but nobody there to listen to. And it's amazing that you can have that moment juxtaposed to silly moments and still be able to work. Having done some research with classic episodes, I found that the Third Doctor and Joe Grant did a similar mime in The Sea Devils, so I thought that was cool, that if you watch classic episodes, you could also watch Partners in Crime and see that little callback. So that would be a new Who viewer for me. Anybody can watch Partners in Crime.
This is why Eugene doesn't go first.
I see that. But I also now respect that when he goes last, he doesn't say all that.
Right.
Because he's like, oh, Kelsey said that, covered that. Don't need to say that. Arlene covered that. Brian covered that. I'll just say that this is good for a new year.
I can edit mine into the end.
Rest of us, all we can say is new, casual, new.
Because what I do is I write down what you guys are saying, and then I write down what I'm thinking, and
Yeah.
then when you say it, I check it off, so I don't have to repeat it.
No, now I'm like, thank you, Eugene. For
Yeah, that was very well said. And Frank?
I also think it would be good for a new viewer or anybody. You can just sit down. There is a history between the two, but it's not anything that's really vital to the whole storyline or plot, and you pick up most of it. So I say new, everybody.
I would agree. I actually watched this with a new viewer. My father had never seen any of the current Doctor Who. And that's when I learned that my parents really weren't as big of fans of Doctor Who in the 70s as I thought. My dad was like, yeah, we saw a couple episodes. And I was like, oh, I thought you guys watched it all the time. And Dad was like, no. He didn't really care for it, I guess. It was too weird for him. But so to set up this episode to watch it with my dad, who'd never seen any of the new Doctor Who, I was just like, I just gave him a brief rundown of like, the Doctor's alone right now. He's not traveling with anybody. He was traveling with this girl named Martha. Before that, Rose. And then I was like, okay, I'm good. And it was funny. Like I asked him when the scene I pointed out, I was like, that's the Doctor. And Dad was like, oh, I know. And I was like, really? How do you know? He's like, the eyes are crazy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But my dad really enjoyed the episode. Like he laughed at all the right moments. And so that makes me want to put this in the category for it's good for everybody. I think everybody will enjoy. You don't have to have been watching seasons 1 through 3 to enjoy this episode.
Of course, I'll agree with everyone that's gone so far, but I think the chemistry between Catherine Tate and David Tennant just explodes on the screen. And I remember the first time watching it, really not caring for the adipose and that story of the fat and being born and babies, but it has grown on me. And even despite that, I think I still love the episode because the Doctor and Donna are just so great together. And, you know, some episodes that we watch really feel like they go on for the full like hour. And this one, every time it feels like it's over before it even got started because it's just so much fun and it's so easy to go along with the story. So I'm also going to agree and say this is a great episode to introduce people to Doctor Who, and I think it has a lot of fun even if you're a diehard. So everybody should watch this episode as often as they can.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and everyone, I think it's good for a new person. I will say that when I saw it, the fat babies I thought were way too silly, but everything with the Doctor and Donna made up for that, and the more I watch it, the less that bothers me, and it's just all part of the fun. And then also it's a good representation of how silly the Doctor Who show can get. But yeah, I think anyone would enjoy this. New.
Definitely a new Who viewer. I like Donna. I like the Adipose. And I like that the Doctor was sad for a change. Gave him some time to like think about his traveling. I like it when he has those spaces of solitude where he can think about, oh, I took Martha for granted kind of thing. Or, you know, just before that, oh, I really miss Rose. But then that's when he got kind of crazy and Martha was like, I'm not getting involved with this craziness. So, yeah, anyone can watch this and enjoy it.
This is for anybody. It's Donna. I really like this episode. I think even though Donna had appeared on the show before, which a new person wouldn't know that, you'd get swept up in the story right away. You would catch on, oh, she was on before. Mm-hmm. Okay. The way she talks to the Doctor gives you some of the history of the show. Hopefully it would make you curious as to who is this Martha, what happened, who is this Rose, what happened. I think it would draw you into the universe. It's just a lot of fun. You'll be laughing, and like Auburn says, you're gonna think it's over in 15 minutes. Everyone.
We have a unanimous ranking for Partners in Crime.
Yay!
So that wraps up Partners in Crime. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time when the future becomes the present.
Congratulations, you've just listened to an episode of Who Knew?
Our wonderful theme music is by Michael Grady.
Find him on Facebook at The Universe Explodes.
All our episodes are engineered by Auburn.
Find him at auburnmeekly.com.
You can find this show in several places.
Follow us on Twitter at Who Knew Podcast.
Subscribe, review, and listen to us on iTunes and Stitcher.
Or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Who Knew Podcast.
Comment on our Facebook page.
As always, please leave comments, reviews, and click like to help support Who Knew Podcast.
Also listen to us on your Amazon Echo by enabling a podcast skill.
All our episodes are on whoknewpodcast.com.
This podcast is inspired by Doctor Who,
the longest running sci-fi show in history.
And especially the revival spearheaded by Russell T. Davis.
Thanks to Russell,
Sydney Newman,
Verity Lambert,
Ron Grainer,
and all those involved in the adventures of our favorite Time Lord.
Your work continues to inspire and entertain.
Stop inserting eye rolls that aren't there. We love Josh.
If Auburn eye rolled and I rolled,
that's
that means there's many eye rolls around the table.
I did just start thinking like, a pound a day. I know it's
2
whatever.
pounds.
2 pounds or whatever. Even just a pound a day. Like that's like 10 pounds in 10 days. What can I do? How many push-ups do I need to do? That's not a bad goal.
she had a great line. You opened my eyes to all those amazing... Excuse me.
A little verklempt.
You okay, Frank?
No.
You need a moment or two? Or
She had
five?
It was really good. I had one too. I'm like, I haven't had one of these in years.
Well, I've had one in the last couple of years, and I'm always like,
DLP.
I'm glad these aren't as good as I remember them. That was really good right now.
When's the last time you had something sweet and bready?
Well, bready, I have too much bread already, but I actually had a piece of cake on Friday.
So I don't know then.
But that way you have choices as to which one to edit. If you like the other one, go for it.
I feel so dirty.